Daily Broadside, day 705. So Forrest Gump takes off from his front porch in khakis and like a collared shirt one day and runs from 1976 to 1979. Doesn't tell anybody. Like, there's that black lady that's like his housekeeper, his maid, whatever she is. I don't know if she's living or not, but he didn't even know. Like, you could have just gone inside and just, hey, went out running, be back whenever. Don't worry, don't make dinner or anything. I'll let you know when I'm en route or whatever. Because there wasn't a phone system like there is today. You know, it's not like he can just be on his phone like, I'm running. I don't know when I'll be back. You know, just puts his cell phone up. He just takes off. Just takes off like, you know, a ghost in the night. Just disappears into the ether, right? And I get it. He was rich. So his house, surely, it's been the family for years. The house paid off. No big deal. But the water company's going to want some money every once in a while. The electric bill's going to come due. The sewage, there's bills to pay, right? You know, he didn't have a car, but I'm sure there were some other expenses. He might have had not a cell phone, but a home phone, like a landline there, that costs like $7 a month. None of that stuff, I imagine, is paid up in full. So, and you know, the maid ain't paying that. You know, over 3 years, that adds up to quite a few $1,000s. You know, so I just think it was completely inconsiderate of him to just go running off for no reason, right? I have a problem with it. And then he stops in the middle of Wyoming or some crap, in the middle of like the desert, basically. That's a beautiful place to stop. You know, he's got this parade of people running up a 2-lane road, just wreaking havoc on traffic, I guess. I don't know. What kind of idiot like follows somebody running, you know? And the technology of footwear as they call it, in 1976 is not what it is today with regards to insoles and all that kind of stuff. They didn't have his little chewables. You know, he never seemed to be drinking any water. You got to take in fluids when you're running 24/7 for 3 years. You know, there's these people. I watched a documentary years ago about these dudes that ran across I always think it's the Gobi, but maybe it's the Sahara, whatever that North African desert is. They basically ran from like the left side, from like Morocco over to like Egypt, basically like I think it was like 2 marathons a day, and they had to go through all the borders and all this stuff, and their feet were just destroyed, as you know, right? And, you know, Forrest never got runner's diarrhea. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on that I don't think the movie really, you know, put into account with that. But more importantly, just the dickish move of just leaving and not letting anybody know where you're going. It's kind of like when you go hiking and you don't tell somebody that you're going hiking in this place, I'll be back this time. That's what happens. You get your arm caught in a boulder and you're stuck there for 127 hours. Like Aaron Ratcliffe, I don't remember what his name is, but I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to meet a woman who works in the stop motion movie industry. You know, where they like take like a clay model and they like take a picture of it, and then they move its arm like a couple millimeters, and then like blink its eye and take another picture, and then they move its arm, and then they do all this crap, and then when you know what I'm talking about, right? The Chicken Run type of thing, right? It just Miss Tweety. It's not a bad movie, actually. I think there's a second one. I've never seen that, but I may be making that up too. But I need to meet a girl like that, because you know that she's got to have like a great attention to detail in the bedroom, wouldn't you think? I mean, right? I mean, for women or a guy, whatever, you know, whatever you float your boat. But then again, they may just come home and just want to punch a wall, because you're like, hey, honey, how was your day? You're like, how was work? You're like, oh, we filmed 9 seconds. You know, like, were you at work for 8 hours? That's right. That's like a second an hour. Yep, it is. It is. We did a second an hour today. It was actually a slow day. It was actually a fast day, even worse, right? I just don't get it. But so she may just like want to punch a wall and go to bed, you know, down some gin and hit the hay. I don't know. But then again, maybe she's like that in every facet of life. You know what must be a horrible job? I think a horrible job would be working in like a graphic design department and having to come up with like a presidential logo for, you know, an election year, because that has got to be just ridiculous. That has got to be as difficult as working for like the Hallmark Corporation, having to come up with ways of saying the same crap every day you come into work. Because I would imagine after about 2.5, 3 years, you're tapped as far as ideas of how to tell people you love them, how to tell people they're sorry if somebody like took a dirt nap, and how to wish somebody happy birthday. I mean, you can only be so eloquent for so long before you're just completely tapped of any kind of creative resources, you know? So I would imagine that coming up with those logos, it's got to be the same, because here's the thing, right? Your color palette's already decided for you. It's red, white, and blue. There is no other option. It has to be red, white, and or blue. Maybe you could drop the red, but it's got to be blue and white. I mean, you just, you know, you're limited to that. You can't have like a typo negative scheme where it's like, you know, green and black. It just doesn't work. Somebody should do that, but you probably wouldn't do that. And then you got to come up with like, all right, there's got to be some part of the flag in it. So there's got to be some lines for the bars, or some stars for the stars, and, you know, maybe a sun or a horizon. I mean, you're just limited, right? If you can't, and then you got to come up with you know, I guess the same firm comes up with the slogan. I don't know. So if you got like president, you know, somebody's running for president, their name is Lowe, Lowe. You know, you got to come up with an I like Mike, I like Ike, not Mike. We didn't have I don't think we've had a Michael. No, we haven't had a Michael president. We have had a Dwight Eisenhower, and I like Ike was his. Catchy for the 50s, you know, people dug it. Everybody's got their little pins and whatnot. But, you know, you come up with blow and low. I don't know what you come up with, but that's got to be very difficult, especially somebody's got like Amy Klobuchar. What if she'd have been the nominee? What in the crap rhymes with Klobuchar? Like, how you come up with a catchy Klobuchar name? That just doesn't make any sense. So I say this, that's got to be one of the most frustratingly annoying jobs on planet Earth, as I see it, at least. I could be wrong. Maybe it's really cool when you know, you're like that little Asian girl that got picked for the Vietnam Memorial and everybody hated it because it was boring, and I think it's just brilliant, you know. But she won that contest, and now she gets to, you know, live in infamy forever because that was her design. Maybe it's like that, you know, you came up with hope and change for Obama. Alabama was the name of True Romance. That was what's her name's name, Alabama, I think. There's also an Alabama Shakes, pretty good little guitarist. Can't remember her name, Melissa. It doesn't matter. Y'all have a good one.